Hello again from Alabama, folks. I'll do a second video on my 1998 Crown Victoria LX. And as most of you know, these Crown Victorias have very few power points to plug stuff into. So what I've done, I went underneath the dash where there's a carpeted filler plate, for lack of a better terms. I took that out and cut out a lid from a storage container to put on the back side of it, glued it to it to make it a little more sturdy. And I added 3 12-volt plug-ins. The two you see on the left work off of 12-volt full times, and the one on the right is 12-volt switched. I do have a dash cam plugged into that at this time. And as you also can see, there is a toggle switch. That toggle switch is for my LED running lights that I added to the front of the Crown Victoria, which I'll show you later. But there again, this car only had one 12-volt plug-in from the factory, and now I have a total of 4. They work very well. I use fuse taps going into the fuse box underneath the dash, which I'll show you. One is to a hot all the time with its fuse. One is to a hot switched. I also ran one to a hot switched. A third one you can see, which goes to LED running lights. So when I start the car up, the switch is on, the lights automatically come on. And if I, for some reason, want to not have them come on, or if I'm sitting with the ignition on, listening to the radio, don't want the lights on, the toggle switch you saw earlier will cut them off. And as I mentioned earlier, here's my dash cam that's plugged into the switched plug-in under the dash that I added. It's a good dash cam. However, one feature it does not have is if there's something happens in front of you that you want to save, it does not have that option. So if you want to go back later and download it from the camera to your phone, you have to hopefully you've written down or remembered what time this occurred for the time and date stamp on the camera. Otherwise, you've got to search for whatever it was you wanted to save for later. Now, the interior on this car is all original. Of course, the car's been garage kept most of his life and has never been touched up, repaired, or anything. The center console I got is a Walmart purchase. It fits in with the seat belt holding it in place, and as you can see, it's very sturdy and has quite a bit of storage room on the inside. And again, the seats, the interior in this car are basically like new. I still have the factory AM/FM cassette player in the car, and there are no inputs for a CD player or cell phone or anything. And I've tried in the past many different FM transmitters. Most of them have been junk. But I came across one I found on a Scosche brand that works great. It has no static, very little to any background noise. It works, also makes your hands-free phone, and it's a lot better to me than going and putting an aftermarket stereo. It's Bluetooth, so I send my playlist directly from my phone and works through the car stereo pretty much flawlessly. Here are the daytime running lights I put on the car. They're Amazon buy. They weren't very much, I think $15 for the pair, and they work great. They're of course much brighter at night than what you see during the day. I like having headlights on or some type of lighting in the front to make the car better seen traveling down the road. And the downfall of the digital dash is if you have the headlights on or running lights on during the daytime, it's virtually impossible to see the readout on the dash.